3 virtual continents have thus far been visited. Today the Lotus 49 completes that list with a race in Japan. Being designed as an IndyCar test facility by Honda in 1997, it will be a new challenge that awaits our Lotus 49 today. 4 hairpins and hard acceleration zones will test the patience of our warriors. Who will blow a massive strike to their opponent's chances of winning this season, and who will swing and miss a great opportunity? Find out now as we get ready to watch round 4 of the Grand Prix Legends series live on the Global SimRacing Channel via the iRacing esports network. The crew to give you all these stats and storylines today will be Ryan Walker, and myself, Stefan Schlacher. Turning the knobs and pushing the buttons behind the scenes is our director Sean Regis Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. With the previously mentioned amount of hairpins this circuit names its own, it's no wonder that Motegi isn't the most liked racing course on iRacing. To show you though that this track knows what it's talking about, we're going to send the asphalt side with our GSRC lap guide.
Welcome to Twin Ring Motegi. This well-known Japanese racing facility located roughly 2 hours north of Tokyo gets its name from the fact that it has both an oval and a road course that can be run. But a unique feature of this track is that instead of having a roval layout, the road course is entirely separate from the oval circuit. On top of that, drivers have 3 different road courses to choose from in the form of the Grand Prix, East, and West circuits. While not totally devoid of elevation change, the track is relatively flat. What distinguishes the place the most is the combination of plenty of long straights heading into heavy braking zones. This means that passing opportunities abound. With it being built in 1996, it has most of the qualities you'd expect from a modern road course, including flat curbs, a fair amount of runoff, and multiple pit complexes. Oddly, because of the oval, the track includes night lighting for a portion of the road circuit. Though there isn't much notable about most of the turns, one of the more distinctive corners is the final chicane on the Grand Prix course. Leading out of a tunnel that returns you to the oval infield, it's kinked on entry and it tightens greatly at the second apex. This makes pushing the limits of this corner extremely tough, and it often catches drivers out. Though international series such as IndyCar and MotoGP have held rounds at the track, today it is mainly used for local open wheel and GT series. Still, the one-of-a-kind experience offered to drivers and fans at this circuit is sure to keep people coming back for years to come.
Joe Peak doing what nobody can do better, bringing you a track much closer than you would probably like. Ryan, what else can you add to what Joe just told us?
Yeah, some details about this fantastic Motegi track. It says 2.983 miles in length for 4.8 kilometers if you prefer to use that. It has 14 turns, and just a brief history about the track. It was first built in 1997, or August 1997 rather, by Honda to try and gain some more knowledge about IndyCar racing and bring that knowledge to Japan. The first official IndyCar race was held in 1998 and was won by Adrian Fernandez.
Yeah, very interesting history this track has, but also a very interesting history is what our championship standings is telling us right now, because after all the troubles we have seen in the last round by all the drivers, we have a shake-up there, not only in the F1 Drivers' Championship that you're seeing right now, but also in the F2 Driver Championship. In the F1 Driver Championship, Peter Mikus, for the very first time in, I think, his F1 career, he takes over the lead here in the Grand Prix Legends series with 119 points to his name, 24 points behind that's Michel Durino, who was your leader at Donington, but he didn't race there. Rob Olenek, 29 points behind in third, with Kochi and Trengate running out your top 5 in that championship standing. And yeah, Ryan, as we have seen in Donington, that F2 really got messed up.
Yeah, the F2 Championship's still real close at the stage of the season, but at the moment it's currently being led by, I'm quite surprised, but led by Robert Plumley in 34 points, but at 1 point behind him in second is David Rossi, with Eric Luco a further 2 points behind in third place, so the top two are still really close together, but not that far behind either in fourth and fifth for Andrew Eng and Brennan Cleveland, so at the moment it's still all to play for in the F2 Championship.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the closest F2 championships we have seen in pretty much the whole that we are broadcasting this series. Next up, as always, it's the Nations Cup in the United States. Alright, now leading that one with 130 points to their name. Slovakia 11 points behind, with France in third, Norway fourth, and Italy in fifth place. 47 points in total are right now separating these top five in the points standings. Ryan, we might have a few new viewers here today, so why don't you talk us quickly over the race details?
So some details about the series for anyone tuning in for the first time. This is round 4 of 12, and the race length for today will be 18 laps. And as always for this series, the setup will be open, so any changes you want to make, be it camber right height, tyre pressures, anything like that, you're free to do so. And as always, regarding incidents, if you get 17x, it will be a penalty, and if you get 25x, then you will be automatically disqualified from the race.
Yeah, and that is might be something that we have to look at for, because it is rather easy in the Lotus 49 to pick up some incident points here. As always, though, you're watching this broadcast on the iRacing eSports Network. Make sure to like and especially subscribe if you haven't done so yet. You know, if you haven't asked that button right below this broadcast, will still be extremely bright red. Now, Ryan, one thing we have to talk about this track is that for the drivers, it isn't the easiest one with all the elevation change and hairpins and whatnot you have on this track. But for us in the commentator's box, it's really easy because no turn has a name.
Yeah, absolutely. This track is, like I mentioned before we came on the air, it's one of my favourite tracks on iRacing Motegi. It's one of those tracks that it's got everything really. You've got slow speed corners, you've got high speed corners, you've got even medium speed corners, and you've got some twisty sections as well. So this track basically offers everything that a driver would like or maybe dislike. So and also with some corners as well, it's easy to get an off track if you run too wide, or even if you clip the grass, with it being slippy now, if you clip the grass, it could possibly spin you, or even worse, spear you into the wall.
Yeah, everything is possible on this track, and I'm pretty sure you're standing quite alone there on your side of liking this track. From what I've heard, the community really, for some reason, dislikes this track, even though I would say it provides really great racing. Right now, I would also say it provides quite the qualifying battle between the three of our top dogs. Rob Olenek right now in first place with a 47.605. Traingrade with a 47.638 in second place, and Michel Dudino with a 7.665 in third place. So extremely tight there at the top.
Absolutely, and yeah, the forward man at the moment this season, Peter Mikas, is only down in P7, so maybe not where Peter wants to be, but as usual, up at the top, you've got like you mentioned, you've got all the Traingrade.
Ryan, sorry, but Peter Mikas isn't in 7th anymore. He is in first place with a 47.551. Goes faster by 500th of a second than Rob Olenek. As Michel Dudino strikes back, we just saw it there in his last few turns, 47.333. He is going faster. That puts him up by 2/10. Rob Olenek coming out of the last turn now through his qualifying time. Let's see what it's going to bring for him. There's the line. And it is a 47.444, fast enough for Mikas, but not fast enough for first place.
As Ovi Traingrade is just coming round to complete his lap as well. He's just in the final few corners, and it looks like Ovi's not on a lap to improve, so maybe just getting ready to gear up and complete his final qualifying lap.
Yeah, it does seem like that Traingrade had some mistake there. So he's just doing his practice start, I would say. Gary Thiel, we're seeing, Michael out of nowhere! Fastest by nearly 6/10 of a second. Actually make that 7/10 of a second. 46.698 puts him in front. That probably is a big question mark for everybody as to how did he do it, as we're watching Kane Lasky making his approach onto the final lap. Kane Lasky putting himself 47.666. That is 6th place for him.
Yep, and yeah, I have to say I was quite surprised where quite surprised with that lap by Mick as well. That just came out of nowhere, and it was just, I guess it's a message to the other drivers that, yeah, if you want to try and keep up with me, you're going to have to, yeah, push a little bit harder.
Yeah, most definitely. Maybe we will see once again such a dominant drive by him like we saw in Donington. Wouldn't be surprised to see it. Also wouldn't be surprised if everybody else is able to step up their game in the races coming up right now as people are starting to get into the gridding phase. We're gonna run you down the grid right here. As said, Mick Claridge in first place by nearly 7/10 over Michel Dudinot in second, who is exactly 111 thousandths of a second ahead of Rob Olenek in third. Peter Mikus, fourth place. Over turn rate, fifth. Kane Lasky, great qualifying by him in sixth place. Roman Pavslowski still very off-colored, only in seventh place with Nick Kalakochi in eighth. Bill Tyler, ninth place, and Philip Lake running out your top 10 of this grid.
Starting in 11th is Sebastian Tixia, 12th is Bruce Nelson, 13th is Alessandro Parigi, 14th is Terry Worth, 15th is Eric Loco, 16th is Fabrizio Messani, 17th is Gary Thiel, 18th is Ivan Diadio, hopefully I said that right, 19th is David Rossi, and rounding out the 20th is Andrew Eng.
21st going to Robert Plumley with Telmo Amaral in 22nd. Digging for Vista rounds out the top 23 of this field. Ben Williams in 24th. Brendan Cleveland only 25th position for him. John Van Dorn in 26th. Colin Coker 27th. Andreas Bruno 28th, with Donald Peak taking home a 29th position in the grid. And last to qualify is Andre Chuton in 30th, with Milton McCarthy in 31st, Robert Reynolds 32nd, and Jasmine Beach will round out your 33 driver grid here today. Right, we're not talking too much here always about first turn, but we might have a little bit of an interesting situation here today. Ryan, what do you think? Will have Michel Dudinot any chances into turn 1?
I think it depends if he gets a good start off the line, but with turn 1 it's a bit yep, we're getting ready to go.
Yeah, engines are harmonizing. There they go. Bad start by Michel Dudinot. Look at Peter Mikus already making it 3 wide for second place on the inside. That's him. Michel Dudinot goes a little bit too wide through the middle, but gets nearly run into by Rob Olenek there on the second part of turn 1. Everything is fading out though quite nicely already, as there's a little bit of a challenge from over terrain rate on Peter Mikus. Side by side we go. Roman Pawlowski gets turned a little bit as there's a little bit more crunch because that's stacking up in behind him. Everybody's still going. I think though, especially in the top 10, we have everybody single file. Back end has a little bit of a challenge between Philip Lake and Sebastian Tixier. Tixier looking inside the top 10 now and gets that position away.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's so far so good on lap 1. No one's had any issues, and yep, that was unfortunate for Roman. They just got tagged a little bit, but apart from that, there's no major issues from what I can see, as someone runs wide slightly on the gravel. But at the moment in lap 1, it's Mick Claridge leading by 5/10 of a second from Michel Dudinot.
Yeah, Michel Dudinot right now doing the best that he can do to hold on to the back of Mick Claridge, as coach is trying to get away 6th place from Peyton Lasky there on the top of your screens. Lasky was able to defend that though, so they entering the backstretch like they started inside the top 6. Quindring Motegi, always a track that really shows the skill difference or the speed difference in the drivers, and sure enough does show that already. Our top 5 drivers in the standings already gone and dusted, with the gap between 5th and 6th already up to 2.2 seconds.
This is coming to turn 1, and Dudinot getting a bit sideways into turn 1, but manages to hold it, and at the moment it looks like Mick is managing to build up a little bit of a gap. It's up to about 7/10 of a second now, but yeah, Dudinot and Olenek and Mikus and Trengrade, I don't think they'll let him get away that easy.
Seems like we have a replay for the incident there with Roman Paslowski. We might be able to find that. It was a little bit of an interesting situation with Roman Paslowski not really knowing where he wanted to go on the inside, and then also a few people behind him trying to outbrake each other into that second hairpin. There we can see Roman now in that nice green and yellow number 8. Gonna go to the inside. To that ahead of him is the number 10 of Ove Trengre, and there you can see the number 9 runs into the back of him. I don't know who that number 9 is right now. That's actually Kane Lasky. So yeah, a little bit, I think, of a misjudgment there from Kane. But good thing though is that Ryan, nothing really was damaged on both cars.
Yep, there's a battle going on with Coachy and Phil Luke. Phil Luke is riding on board with him now. He's right behind him, and Phil Luke, I believe, is one of those drivers that races in the Camel GP series. So it's good to see Phil having a go in this series as McLaren gets the fastest lap with a 1:47.0. But Phil Luke is behind Coachy. Coachy gets second.
Up ahead, we have the battle between Peter Mikas and Ove Trengre for 4th place. You can see it right there on your screens. Ove Trengre on the outside in his nice liveried number 10 car, though he's not able to take that position away right now. A big slide though from Peter Mikas. He's starting to struggle a little bit with his race pace right now. Ove Trengre looks the faster driver of the two right now, as they're starting to lose the top 3 a little bit. That gap already up to about 1.6 seconds. But Ove Trengre just not able to find that speed to overtake the number 3 car ahead of him.
Yeah, Mika seems to be struggling a little bit. It seems to be that some drivers in this series seem to set the car up for the cars as a Dudu and Rob are also in a battle as well up ahead, and yeah, it's looks like this pack is starting to separate as well a little bit.
It's France versus America. Rob Olenek versus Michel Dudignon. Can't get the better of that second place. Right now it's still the Frenchman of Michel Dudignon holding out that second place. Though Rob Olenek really close under that gearbox. Made a little bit of a mistake onto this backstretch, so he lost a little bit of momentum. But I'm pretty sure he's going to gain that back in just these turns, where right you see a lot of different strategies on how to take these last 2 turns.
Yeah, the last 2 turns, it's they're interesting corners, and also there's different lines you can take. Some people like to try and maybe try and go wide a little bit into the final corner. Some people like to try and keep it tight, and also some drivers like to try and take as much speed as possible. But yeah, it was interesting to watch there. There also as Phil Lake and Coachy are still going at it, as it looks like Phil Lake's up the inside possibly.
Yeah, around the outside he tried it down the second hairpin, but he's not going to work that out. Too little grip for him out there, so he still has to be settled in 8th place, as in behind that's Roman Paslowski coming into the shot. He's starting to catch them after his mishap in the second turn of lap 1. Also, one thing we can report is up ahead, Kane Lasky, he really did separate from this battle for 7th place. That's already 3.3 seconds between Coachy and Lasky. And Lasky actually catching that battle for 4th place with Miku and with Trengre. Up ahead of them, that's where we're going to focus our attention, because that's still the battle for 2nd place between Dudignon and Olenek. But big story is, last lap, Dudignon was actually able to catch the guy ahead, Mick Cledge, a little bit, and that trend is continuing to grow.
Yeah, these guys, Dudignon and Olenek, have just been kind of scrapping amongst themselves as Rob tries to take a sneaky look up the inside, or just shows that he's there. But up at the front, Mick Claridge is kind of just pulling away a little bit, but also maintaining the pace and maintaining the gap. So at the moment, Dudignon and Olenek have been left to scrap amongst themselves. But behind these guys as well, we've got Peter Mikas, Ove Trengre and Ken Lasky battling for P4 at the moment.
That was actually a good run here by Rob Olenek, sorry, out of the first hairpin, but not any avail for him. Just that straight too short between the two hairpins. Oh, that was a big mistake there from Michel Durignon. Rob Olenek going to the outside now for turn number 5. He's able to brake later and take away second place from Michel Durignon. Will he able to hold the exit as well? Yes, he does. There he moves up into second place. That's the first position change. We have inside the top 5 and now also over Trangerate. Makes the pass happen on Peter Mikus. Mikus also nearly loses position to Kane Lasky. Pretty much the same thing that we saw with Rob Olenek happen to Peter Mikus. Just a mistake into turn 5. Outbraked himself, and that's why he lost that position to over Trangerate. Now Kane Lasky on the inside, going up to turn 10, the last hairpin of this track, the slowest hairpin of this track. Afterwards, it's very important to get early on that power. Who's able to do exactly that? It seems like they're pretty even on that power. It's going to be a drag race into turn 11 and see who is going to be able to pull ahead down the hill. There they go, 200 meters, 150 meters, braking by about 170 meters. The inside line belongs to Peter Mikus, but Kane Lasky able to hold the outside. Still they go side by side into the last 3 turns. That's a touch between the two, and Peter Mikus has to give up the hopes and dreams he has for top 5 finish right now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough battle between the two guys. But on the other hand, Kane Lasky got his elbows out and just decided, nope, you're not going to scare me, and decided to just get his elbows out and barge his way through. It was a bit of a hard move, but both of them gave each other just enough space and enough room to make it through the corner.
Yeah, I would call all of that, though, fair and square. No harm and no foul. Kane Lasky did want to touch him just a little bit too wide, and I think there was also a little bit of netcode between those two. Going, though, a little bit back, actually quite far back, into P number 19, as actually right now, sorry, a little bit of a pass there by Pale Tyler on Eric Lukel into turn 5. He takes away the top 10 spot. That means Eric Lukel now into 11th, pretty much the same thing we saw with Ove Trangerate and through that turn. Though we're looking now at that battle for what is that, 18? Yeah, I would even put Andrew Eng into that, just a little bit ahead of them. Now Ben Williamson to the inside of Hideki Previsto. Previsto comes back on the power again on Ben Williamson. And that's, nearly losing 2 positions there. Hideki Previsto, so Gary Thiel tried to have a look there. Oh, they're too slight. There comes Gary Thiel, somehow sneaks past that spinning Hideki Previsto. How did they keep away from each other?
Yeah, that was, I'm not even racing, and just watching that made me kind of, take a deep breath just watching that. But I'm amazed that none of them got caught up with each other or had any contact, but fair play to both of them. They managed to hold it, and absolutely fantastic battle. There's battles going on at the front, but also there's the battle for P12 is going on at the moment as well. And coming up to the final few corners, and this battle has been brewing up for quite some time.
Yeah, Bruce Nelson just overtook Terry Worth into turn 11. So that is why now Bruce Nelson is in P number 12 with Terry Worth, trying to show his worth to get that 12th place back from Bruce Nelson. 2 more cars are lining up behind them. That's Phil Lake and Alessandro Parisi. I wonder what happened to Phil Lake last time we saw him. He was trying to catch a battle for 9th place, so he must have had a big mistake, finding himself only in 14th place.
Yep, Ryder on board with Phil Lake at the moment as well, and he was doing well, but like you say, he must have had some issues and made a mistake, or just ran slightly wide in one of these corners. But still in 14th and not that far outside the top 10.
Yeah, anything still is possible. We're only on lap 7 of this 18-lap race. Leading this pack of hungry racers right now. Mick Claridge, 2.3 seconds on the dot right now. He is in front of 2nd place Rob Olenek. Though I think that Rob Olenek is starting to get into his groove after getting rid of Michel Durignon. So I wouldn't say that Mick Clash is in the dry yet. Let's actually have a little bit of a lap comparison here between Mick Claridge. Last lap a 47.217 versus a 47.417. So exactly 2/10 between Olenek and Clash there on the last lap.
Yeah, I was just watching Olenek as well. Yeah, he's pulling away from Dudion, so there's the battle for P7 is going on as well.
Yeah, Roman Paslowski just overtook Sebastian Tix here into turn 1 for the 8th place. They're all behind Nicola Kochu, who's starting to look a little bit off color. Directly proves that with a slide through the second hairpin. The Italian are not really liking the low grip surface twin ring Motegi has to offer. Let's see if Roman Paslowski able to do something through turn 5. Not like that. Has a big lockup, sends him sailing past the apex, and that's not enough speed. Going through and up the hill here. Let's see Sebastian Tix here. Will he try to take immediately back his 8th place that rightfully, or at least he thinks, belongs to him? He sure is still safe of Bill Tyler in 10th place. He is about 2.5 seconds behind Tix here. Going through the hairpin at turn number 9. Let's see, good setup will be provided for turn 10. Goes a little bit wide on the entrance, tries to take that later apex, straighten out the acceleration zone, but does Roman Paslowski better to get that power down right now. Sebastian Tixier is in the slipstream though, 200 meters, 170, that's where they break. But everybody is fair and square on the brakes. A little bit of a slide there from Roman Paslowski on the apex. Extremely downhill, extremely off-camber, very dangerous corner actually if you're on 2 wheels and driving a rocket ship. That's called a Motegi bike.
Yeah, oops, sorry, Steph.
No, go ahead.
I was just about to say, yeah, I'm just watching Roman as well. He seems to be, yeah, I don't know what it is, if he's struggling a little bit with his track temperature, or maybe it's the setup that's not suiting these track conditions as well. But he seems to be moving around a little bit on the braking and locking up quite a lot as well.
Yeah, if we actually have a look at track temperature, you will see that it's scorching hot out there. 106 Fahrenheit or 41 degrees Celsius on the track. So that really doesn't help these drivers right now. Low grip surface and then scorching hot temperatures. That really will not help your case. 23 degrees Celsius in the air or 76 degree Fahrenheit. That also is probably the reason why we see our top 6 drivers are starting to really fan out. Right now the top 6 are covered by 9.9 seconds. Where the action is, though still very hot, is in the midfield, right around that P13 position of Terry Worth. He really lost out to Phil Lake, so he is driving away, same with Eric Lucal, but he still has the better of Bruce Nelson, who made a mistake in the last lap, fell back to that 14th position, and also the Italian Alessandro Parisi still is in behind that gearbox. A little bit running there out of internet shoes down the straight. Makes it very nicely and neatly into turn 11. Bruce Nelson though, very big mistake from him, loses a lot of traction out of it. But thankfully for him, Alessandro Parisi not too far away. Oh, we have a mistake there, actually a crash. Who is that? A 31 of Colin Coker. Let's see what happened there, Ryan.
Yep. The replay's on screen now, so just look at the replay to see what happened between the both of them, and Coca, ooh!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that... Bruno most definitely defending the inside there, and Colin Coker just completely misjudging his braking point, and they both collide at 29, and... let's see, who was that? Telmo Amaral has to go to the outside grass, and Donald Peake goes around the inside grass. So those were also a little bit compromised by that crash. There we have the 29 of Amaral. Right now, by the way, your F2 championship leader, Robert Plumley, also not having the best races. Started in 21st, right now only in 23rd, about 50 seconds behind your leader of the pledge.
Yeah, it's still early stages of the season as well, I should say. So yeah, it's not a bad thing for Robert. All he needs to do is just he doesn't need to worry about winning races for the F2 championship. Just needs to the battle between Luku and Lake is going on at the moment, and Lake tries to go round the outside. Oh,
that's interesting. Luke just went to the right, slowed down, and let Philip Lake pass. So it seems like that Luke knows his cards in that battle. They didn't look good, so he folded and reserved his tires for a bit of a better chance at racing here. So he's gonna sit in 12th place now, with Philip Lake moving up to 11th place. Looking back to a battle for 20th position, that's Ivan Dario and Ben Williamson. Also Hideki Kavisto in that battle, so a 3-car battle for the last spot inside the top 20, and there it goes, Ben Williamson hard into the inside wall. That's his nose gun. Also the full DRS sign gets a little bit of a treating.
yeah, just watching the replay as well to see what happened then. It looks like he might have just put down too much power, and he just caught a bit of the grass and just spun round into the wall. That was unfortunate for him. He was having a decent race, but that's just proved my theory about the grass. If you clip too much of it, it will just spin you round.
That grass did most definitely prove to be a drag enhancement system for Ben Williamson. Right there with him losing the nose. That's pretty much his race done. There you can see it. Lots of components exposed on that Lotus 49. The battle for P16 is also one we're gonna focusing on. That's David Rossi versus Fabrizio Massani. Massani starting in 16th, so he wants to get back that one position he lost thus far in the race, with David Rossi already climbing up 3 spots from 19th into 16th. And also we have to say a snake of 4 cars ahead of them, not too far away. Actually just 3 cars. There's also Robert Reynolds in there, who is 30th and being currently left.
Yep, and up the back up at the front as well. McLaren rather is leading by 3.5 seconds. So he's Mick at the moment is just he's not being challenged at the moment, but watching the times between Claridge and Olenek, they're still relatively close together on pace. So you never know. In the later stages of the race, Rob could put up a bit of a challenge and try and close down Mick.
Speaking about closing down, Kane Lasky right now doing that to Ove Trengrade. Ove Trengrade pretty much under pressure here from Kane Lasky. They're only 3/10 apart right now. So Kane Lasky most definitely found some speed, or maybe it was Ove Trengrade who's starting to lose speed with his always extremely new setups that he likes to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it seems to be the early stages of the race at Ove is really quick, but it seems in the later stages he seems to drop off a little bit. So it could be, like you say, it could be set up just being loose and maybe just destroying or even overheating the tyres, and that's allowing Ken to close up to him. And I have to say I've been quite impressed by Ken. He's had a good race and challenging the likes of Trengrade. That's he should be proud of that.
Yeah, Kane Lasky doing everything he can to get that 4th place away from Ove Trengrade. We have seen that Ove Trengrade, especially in the past season and so far also in this season, is quite incident prone. So wouldn't put it too far out there if you would say that he might be making a few mistakes later into a race, as Michel Dudin has the world's longest lockup all the way from the braking point of turn 1 through turn 1 and nearly into turn 2. Let's actually have a look at it, because that was mighty impressive how long that inside wheel was standing. A little bit too far into the dribble. Yeah, we can see it there. We'll be able to see it. Look on that tire. I can see all that smoke generating all the way pretty much to the middle of the turn. That really didn't help his tire wear, though the good thing is that these cars don't really have too much wear anyway on the tires.
Yeah, absolutely. As the battle for P14 between Parisi and Snelson is going on at the moment, these guys are still close together as you ride on board of Bruce Snelson, and trying to pressurise Parisi into a mistake, but he just can't seem to get close enough or do anything about him at the moment.
Yeah, one of the few battles we still have remaining in this race right now. Obviously that is mostly down to how hot this temperature is. Everybody trying to save their tires somehow. Also, Terry Worth not too far away from them. He has been able to separate over the last few laps a little bit from them. But it's only right now just under a second between Worth and Prix. As it doesn't seem like Snelson is able to do anything into turn 11 rather. Let's have a look at the battle for P number 7. That's between the Italian Nicola Cocci and the German of Roman Pawlowski. Pawlowski in the 8th position right now, trying to take away that 7th place from Cocci. They really have dropped off in pace from that battle we have seen for 4th place. Right now they're pretty much 7.8 seconds away from Peter Meek. Let's have a little bit of a look here on the lap comparison there between Pawlowski and Cocci, and it seems like they're pretty much dead even. Their last lap only 1,000 between Cocci and Pawlowski.
Yeah, these guys have been really, there's not been much to separate these two, but like you see, they've been real close on pace, so not much to separate them, and Pawlowski just can't do anything about Cocci at the moment. He can't get by him, so I think he might need to try and pressurise Cocci into a mistake.
On that last camera, you were quite nicely able to see that also Sebastian Tixier there, you can see it now nicely, and Bill Tyler are also not too far away from that battle, so if those two start to be fighting a little bit too much for that 7th place, Sebastian Tixier and Bill Tyler both will be very quickly on the back heels of those guys.
Absolutely, and there's not really that many battles going on at the moment apart from this one. It seems to be that most of the cars at the moment in this pack are separating at the moment.
Yeah, let's actually keep our eyes peeled on that, as it also seems that Michel Dudino very slowly able to catch Rob Olenek now. That gap is down to 8/10. As we're actually going to jump up to that with Michel Dudino. I can see that gap quite nicely. They have 2 cars behind them. That's Ovid Trengrid and Kane Lasky, so also those guys able to catch the 2 ahead of them. So also here pretty much the same thing as with that battle for 7th place. If they start to battle a little bit too much, get hung up with each other, Ovid Trengrid and Kane Lasky will be there in just a moment's notice.
Absolutely, and Trengrid and Lasky have been pretty much together for the last stages of this race. So, but like you say, if Olenek can something's happened to Olenek. Oh, he's back. Or is he disconnected?
He is there for me. So, well, he is there for me. So Michel Dudino right now in 3rd place. Both of them make a mistake through turn number 11. Going through turn 12, 13 and 14 now, the last 3 turns of this racetrack. Lap number 16 is what they're going to start, so only 3 more laps to decide that battle for 2nd place. There you can see them now once again on your screens. Heading into turn 1, Michel Dudino much faster right now than Rob Olenek. Rob Olenek seems to have overheated his tires quite a lot, as the last lap was slower by about 6/10 than the one from Michel Dudino. on board there with Michel Tudino. Also over Trengrid, by the way, catching these guys very hard. Last lap 4/10 even faster than Michel Tudino. So this battle most definitely getting closer and closer together. Even Kane Lasky faster than the 2-4 second place right now as Michel Tudino makes a big mistake in turn 5. That is going to cost him a lot of momentum. And there is already over Trengrid. Even space right now between those three for the second place.
Yep, and Trengrid and Lasky are not that far behind, but I'm just watching the back at the battle for P7 as well. Kochi and Pabslowski are still close together, so yeah, with 3 laps to go, I think we could be in for some drama in the closing stages of this race.
We're going to have a look here on these two. The Italians still leading the German, and it doesn't seem like that Sebastian Tixier and Bill Tyler are able to catch them, though Bill Tyler was able to catch Sebastian Tixier, so our battles start to heat up once again as we head into the last 2 laps of this race. Another battle. Let's actually show you that one. Why not jump a little bit through the pack to showcase all the battles that we have right now going on. Terry Worth still holding up on that 13th place. Still holding behind Alessandro Parisi and Bruce Nelson. Also seems like David Rossi got himself that company still attached to him in the name of Fabrizio Maisani.
Yep, this battle for 13th is still going on at the moment with Parisi and Snelson behind, and yeah, the pack spreaded out a little bit, but it still started to bunch up again with 2 laps remaining of this race. So yeah, it's good to see that some of these battles still going on.
P number 2 gets extremely hot now. Michel Tudino already tried to have a little bit of a look into turn number 2. Didn't really work out for him. As there also now you can really see over Trengrid in that picture as well, looking back from the gearbox of Rob Olenek. He's extremely struggling right now. 47.8 that last lap, 2/10 slower than Michel Tudino, who nearly runs into the gearbox there of Rob Olenek. And also over Trengrid was faster by 8/10 than the American ahead of him. A few different lines through this 3rd hairpin of the track, going up to the 4th hairpin, and it's all downhill from here, only elevation wise though, hopefully for these guys, as they are shortly entering the last lap of this race. 18 laps is all that we have for today, and Mick Clash just heading into turn 11 ahead of them. So even it seems like Mikhail a little bit starting to struggle with his tires in this 18-lap race as he's now entering the last lap. So only about 4 kilometers remain. White flag now also in the air for this battle for 2nd place. Mikhail actually puts in a new fast lap of the race, 46.895. As Rob Olenek heads into turn 1 and 2. He's still ahead of Michel Tudino, who once again had a little bit of a lock-up through the middle of the turn. So he's not able to gain too much momentum onto this 2nd straight, as they were, by the way, pretty much a full second of the last lap of Mick Claridge. Heading through the 2nd hairpin on the infield of the oval here at the Twin Ring Motegi. Michel Tudino tries to set up the exit here off turn 5, gets a little bit bogged down by Rob Olenek. We can park it there on the apex. Let's see if they are trying to do something through turn 6 and into turn 7. Michel Tudino too far away for that, but here comes over Trengrid. He's now tucked firmly under the gearbox of Michel Tudino, who is tucked right under the gearbox of Rob Olenek. This is heating up much to the likings of Ovid Trengrid. Maybe he's able to snatch himself a 3rd or a 2nd place away, as Rob Olenek has to defend Michel Tudino on the outside of turn number 10. They will head down the backstretch here. Who is able to get a better momentum out of the turn? It's Rob Olenek heading down the hill for this final time. Michel Tudino tries to squeeze in on the inside. Rob Olenek has to give him the room. He's out breaking himself. Spins out on the gravel. Michel Tudino also with a little bit of a mistake. With Trengrid not able to catch on that as Mick Claridge crosses the start finish line. Give it up for your winner here at Twin Ring Motegi. Michel Dudino in behind just comes away with that second place ahead of Ovid Trainrate. Rob Bolnick from second to fourth with one mistake. He goes back to positions. In behind, it's also Kochi and Pawlowski. Kochi able to take away that 7th place.
As Texier comes across the line. As the battle between Rossi and Massini's going on as well. As they're coming down to the final few corners, and yeah, it looks like Rossi's holding on to the position at the moment, and if he just gets through these final couple of corners, he'll be able to hold on to the position from Massini, and they take 15th place.
Yeah, and so he is indeed able to do so. We also have a battle for P number 20, that's Robert Plumley and Ivan Diageo. Adio was able to overtake Plumley last lap. Let's see if Adio able to keep that 20th. Seems like Adio is able to keep that 20th place away from Robert Plumley. So with that, GSRC is gonna take a quick breather, but we will be back after these messages. We'll welcome you all back to the Grand Prix Legends post-race show, streaming to your home on the Global SimRacing Channel via the iRacing eSports Network. And what a race we saw, getting dominated by Mick Clash, but that's far beyond the point of this race. He won out by 6.5 seconds of Michel Dudino, who took away that second place in the penultimate turn of the race. Getting from third into second over Trengrid, also getting a third place out of that because Rob Olnick, big mistake from him through turn 11, and so he only finishes in fourth instead of second. Kane Lasky, great race from him. Once again, he finishes in fifth, with Peter Mikus a little bit off color, only finishing in sixth place, and with that probably losing out on his championship lead right now. Nicola Kochi, 7th place for him, with Ron Pawlowski in 8th, Sebastian Tixier in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 of this field is Bill Tyler.
Finishing at 11th was Philip Lick, 12th was Eric Luttrell, 13th was Terry Worth, 14th was Alessandro Parigi, 15th was Bruce Nelson, 16th was David Rossi, finishing in 17th was Fabrizio Missani, and finishing in 18th was Gary Teal, 19th was Andrew N, and rounding out the 20 was Heidiki Koivisto.
In 21st, getting that position, or just missing out on that position, is Ivan Diageo with Robert Plumley in 22nd, Benny Williams in 23rd, Donald Peake did finish in 24th, and Helmo Amaral, the last car on the lead lap, in 25th. John Van Dorn, 26th, Colin Coker, 27th, Andre Chaudon in 28th, with Jasmine Beach, the last car to finish this race, in 29th. Robert Reynolds, 1 lap down on Hurt, 2 laps down in total, 30th. Milton McCarthy in 31st, Andres Bruno 32nd, and finishing out this race with way too overheated tires, 11 laps down, it was Brennan Cleveland. Joining us now, Mick Clerge. Mick, easy sailing, right?
Oh, Steph, I don't know about that, mate. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was tough. It's always tough in this car, you know.
Biggest question, 41 degrees Celsius on the track. How did it feel in the car?
Oh, do you know what? I had a race last night with Rob, and we came to the track and it was 90 degrees. It was right in the middle of using 18.5 PSI or 18. And I chose 18.5, Rob chose 18, and it was just such a battle for the win. And this morning when we started practicing, I just thought, I don't know whether I want that again. You know, so when we got to the final practice session and the server started loading up for the race, I just said out loud, just give me 108 degrees, that'll be fine. And the race started, it was 108 degrees. And so that, you know, that was it. The tire pressures were set and it was fine, you know. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. As long as you keep an eye on the sliding, you're all right, you know. A lot of people seem to be struggling with overheating the tires. I think the secret is you really have to be careful with them, especially early on in the first few laps, you know.
Yeah, and once again, you showed incredible consistency throughout the race. How does one get this consistent?
230 laps, I think, this week. I think it's what it is. Yeah, I've had another week of just banging out the laps.
Well, Mick, we're going next week to, once again, a little bit of a different track. From Motegi, we will head over to Road Atlanta. How are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Road Atlanta. It's one of my favourite tracks. I love all the old tracks, you know. I mean, Motegi is a brilliant layout, I think, but it's like a modern track, you know. I just feel like it doesn't fit the car right, you know. I just like all these old school tracks, you know, with no runoff and stuff like that, and you know, old school stuff. I love it, and I love the S's and that feel of that, and it's got such a flow to it. But yeah, Ryan's going to ask me a question, I think.
Getting right on the spot there, Ryan. Well done.
Yeah, I can't think of anything, but yeah, thanks for that, Mick.
I'll tell you what, Ryan, I'll put you out of your misery. Let me just say hello to a couple of people. There's a couple of guys watching, Denise, Manu, the Mackenzie boys, they're watching, Don't Mess With Them, Malcolm, Mihal, Carnage, and my sister.
Oh, look at that sweetheart. Mick, thank you very much for talking to us, and yeah, congrats once again on your victory here today.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
That was Mick Cledge, second time winner of this season. Next up, it's Ryan Walker talking to Kane Lasky.
Kane finishing in P5 after a pretty good race, and for most of the race, putting OV Trengrid under pressure. How was that for you, Kane?
Yeah, it was a good race. Had a big disagreement with the team this week. They decided to turn the car upside down yesterday, and I started the race with unfamiliar setup and almost threw my race away at the start, losing the rear. And it was a good fight back. I thought I might have something for Ove at the end, but I had a big scare, maybe 5-6 laps coming down the hill. Got really sideways and greased up the tires, and then lost a few tenths and just decided to bring it home and not risk anymore.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Yeah, I think this is your first season in the Lotus 49, or correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, if it is your first season, you've been impressive to watch so far. And what do you think about the series? Is it a series you're enjoying at the moment? And any expectations or aims for this season?
Yeah, second season. I did my first ever full season on iRacing the last season of 2019, and then I was off for 3 months, so I hadn't done any driving, and this is my second event back in the car. I really enjoy this car. It's a very difficult car because 1% more is too much. A lot of other cars on the service, you can kind of overdrive and get away with a lot, but here, this car, and this is what happened at the end, I was gaining on Ove and just trying just a little too much, and then you're in trouble, and you could throw your whole race away. So I enjoy that challenge. It rewards very smooth and consistent driving, which is difficult to do most of the time.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just you guys for always showing up and doing a good broadcast, and Mick, obviously, for helping a lot of people, and just the guys that I race with, a really good group of guys, Rob and Ove, Peter, and Michelle. It's another thing about this series is people take their time, and usually things don't happen until the end, and you can be pretty confident to race side by side with people, and adds to the enjoyment a lot.
And also our director just asked, are you from North Dakota or Minnesota?
Actually, I'm from Connecticut right now.
So sorry about the random question, but we thought we'll just get that in there before we let you go. So yeah, thanks for answering that, and congratulations on the P5 today, Ken, and we look forward to seeing you on track at Road Atlanta next week.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good week, guys. See you next week.
As that was Andrew N, the finishing in P5, and I have to say, Steph, that was a pretty entertaining race to watch.
Well, that's $5 into the fail can for Sean Ambrose, but also $5 into the fail can from you, Ryan, because that was actually Kane Lasky. But yeah, it was a great race to watch there throughout all that we have seen, and it has been an extremely great season thus far. So GSRC would like to thank the iRacing Esports Network once again for having us on their channel lineup to bring you the greatest shows in iRacing. Make sure to like and especially subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. So yeah. On top of that, we'd like to thank everyone on the track today for a great show, and especially those from the Nike community for contracting with GSRC to help us. Right now on your screen, you can see all of the companies that provide us with their great hard and software GSRC uses to deliver you the best possible show. Additional thanks goes to Chun Long to provide us with the great masterpieces. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, please visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also find us on the social media platforms, Twitter with @GSRChannel, Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel, on Instagram at GSRC_brand. All of the upcoming races for other series are now sliding across your screen, so check them out and mark them down in the calendar. Do not miss another second of exciting racing action. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean, Ryan, and Dougie, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in as Mick Claridge took away the victory here in virtual Japan. With that said, until next time, stay with and sayonara! And as always, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.